Just introduce yourself and your candidacy and the district and so on, all the information.
Okay.
You know the drill and that sort of
Sure.
thing. Give a beat and.
Hi, my name is Simon Ribeiro, and I'm running for U.S. Congress. It's the north side of Chicago area, all the way from the lakefront to the airport. And it takes in, again, the northeast, northwest sides of Chicago, Rogers Park, Loyola University, Edgewater, and then it takes in Evanston of the suburbs, Skokie, Niles, Morton Grove, Harwood Heights, Des Plaines, Park Ridge. It's very expansive. Basically, what called me to run for Congress is because the candidates for Congress on the Democratic and Republican side both are just not adequate. They both are advocating for the continuation of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. They both want to expand this war to Pakistan, Yemen, even Somalia. There's so many problems in other places of the world, Colombia, and we need to build bridges and not burn bridges. We need to open up diplomatic relations and try to diffuse the tension and the problems all over the world. Just bringing these things to a bit of an end will save a lot of resources. It'll be the right thing to do, the moral thing to do. Will save a lot of human lives. American soldiers and of course the native people that were going in and invading and occupying their lands. We need to be the real moral leader in this. I also advocate for universal health care so that no person is left behind. A universal preschool and college program so that really no child is left behind. We know research shows that early childhood education works really well and will set a kid into the right trajectory. We need to help struggling families. We've heard about the bailouts on Wall Street, and we need a bailout for the American household, the regular Joe. We can bail out these multi-billion-dollar financial institutions, but for whatever reason it seems like we can't help some of these people on the verge of foreclosure. Struggling middle class and working class families. We need to help them. I am an advocate for tax relief on those people, making the rich pay a higher tax, but making the poor and the middle class paying a lower tax and getting aid. We, as Americans, are a proud people. We've put a man on the moon. We've done a lot of great things. With all this ingenuity and this great scientific technology that we possess, we should really channel it into good things like healthcare, like schools, like social programs that really help everybody out, rather than militarism and these extremist policies, war, unending occupations, and these things are counterproductive because they only bring about more anti-American will, more extremism, more of this kind of fundamentalist terrorism. And these are the kinds of recruiting tools we're putting out with our war campaign. We need to stop that. We need to be peaceful. We need to be a leader and a model of that peace movement. We also need to do better with the environment. We have a pollution problem that is serious. I like to call it global pollution rather than global warming, because pollution can be warm or hot. We don't have to get into a debate about the temperature, but there's no uncertainty about pollution levels. I advocate for solar, wind, hydro, geothermal. There's even electromagnetic ideas. We can have clean, renewable energy. We could even go to a cleaner system. Even vegetable oil is a lot better for the environment. It's carbon neutral. It's cheaper. It's better for the consumer, and we don't even have to make such a big conversion right away. We could do these small steps and these big steps in parallel, and eventually we can have a green society. This will require green jobs and a green conversion, so this would definitely stimulate the economy. We also need to centralize the central bank. It really isn't a government real American bank. It's a private central bank, the Federal Reserve System. It's deceptively called federal, so people think it's part of the federal government, when in fact it really isn't. Only in ceremony is it connected to it, but their boards of their district banks are all comprised of private banks, and they have private interests, and that is why we're in a state of perpetual indebtedness. That is why we'll never climb out of this debt. We need to reform this monetary system and nationalize our central bank so that the public interest is adhered to, and that the American public don't get into deeper and deeper debt.
Well, Simon, those are broad policies.
Yes.
What specifically are you proposing for your district if you are elected?
Well, I would like to bring about better public transit, buses that are running later at night, the train system. There's talk about expanding the Yellow Line in Skokie to go all the way to Old Orchard. I'm in favor of that if we can do it in a good way. I'd like to do those green renewable sources for the buses. I would like to do more funding for our schools. I'm a school teacher, graduated from the schools in our district, and I'm a big advocate of education because it is a key investment for the future. It keeps kids out of danger. It keeps them more in line to being successful when they become adults and productive members of society.
Well, that's another thing that we'd like to talk about very quickly. If you could give us some idea of your background and what you're bringing as far as qualifications for the House of Representatives.
Yes, well, I've been in public education as a substitute school teacher for about 5 years. I'm almost done with my master's in secondary education. I've done a lot of research, and I've done a lot of work. I was a swim coach. I understand the school cultures, the structure of school in general. That's a key thing. I also graduated in political science, and I learned a lot about international relations, foreign policy, the government, civics, trying to institute good ideas. I think the police sometimes are a bit too severe. The tickets that were given for minor traffic violations are too excessive. We need to have a better system with tax so that it doesn't fall so heavily on the poor and working class people.
And Simon, do you have any experience in civil governance?
Well, I was an election judge. I supervised the presidential primary, presidential final elections, the mayoral elections. I saw the whole system of the election process. I was a little concerned about the vulnerability about the integrity of the machines, because they can be hacked, they can be manipulated. There isn't full transparency, and I hope that the votes do indeed count. But it's a concern that I do have. I worked with an alderman, Alderman Lorino. I interned for her. I worked on the staff of John D'Amico, who's running for state legislature. He won. It was good experience. They happen to be Democrats. I sort of expanded my knowledge since then, and I've been supporting alternative parties because I think we need a system that is really independent and is not in the interest of corporations and the rich.
Can we speak very quickly about the expansion of the Green Party here in Illinois?
Yes, Rich Whitney, who's our governor candidate, made a miracle happen 4 years ago when he got over 10% of the vote for governor. That was unprecedented. I don't think any other third-party candidate was able to do anything close to that kind of number. 10% means that anything actually above 5% means that it'll establish that party as a full established party in Illinois, which means we can slate candidates, we have the same kinds of signature requirements, and we have a lot more of an equal standing with the major two parties. So we are the only established party outside the Democratic and Republican Party, and that's thanks to Rich Whitney, who did a phenomenal job. And since then, he's had 4 years to crisscross the state, talk to different groups, get the message out. So we're expecting something much bigger than 10%. The irony is that the fact that he is an established party candidate, he will be on the ballot, He got, again, over 300,000 votes in the last election. In spite of all these great things, he was excluded from the major debates. The League of Women Voters censored him from appearing. The Union League Club of Chicago. These organizations, who in their mission statement say that they're for civics and for equality and democracy, are really not living up to their mission statement. These organizations actually are censoring candidates from being on the ballot. And he's a legitimate candidate. He has a legitimate popular mandate, 10% plus, and he was excluded from the debates. They did the same thing for my campaign, and I know they've been doing it to a lot of other Green Party candidates and other third-party candidates. We need to come together, and we also have to expose these groups as the fronts that they are, that are just perpetuating this two-party system, a two-corporate-sponsored party system, where it doesn't really matter if it's a Democrat or Republican, because in the end, the actions speak for themselves, and nothing really does get achieved.
Okay, Simon, and where can our viewers go online to learn more about the Green Party in Illinois and learn about your candidacy?
Yes, well, I am SimonForCongress.com. Everything's spelled out, the word for rather than the numbers, SimonForCongress.com. You could see all my stuff. I also have Facebook, Simon Ribeiro. You could Google me, you'll see a lot of things. And the Illinois Green Party's website is IL, the abbreviation of Illinois, ILGP for Green Party. So ILGP.org, I believe. Or you could just Google it, Illinois Green Party, and you'll find everything about us, links to our own individual websites of the candidates, our 10 key point values. We're not just for the environment, that's a big part of us, but we're a lot more than just green. We're for social justice, we're for peace, nonviolence, we're trying to end these wars, we're for stimulating the economy, we're trying to make things more equal, more fair, we're trying to extend rights for all members. So that's where you'll find us, ilgp.org and SimonForCongress.com.
Well, thank you so very much today.
Thank you. Thanks.